Did you know over 1 million people lost their lives in just 8 years fighting for Algeria's freedom? It's a part of history that's often overshadowed, but the Algerian War of Independence shook not just France and Algeria, but the entire world. Let's take a trip back to 1954. Algeria had been under French rule for over a century, but beneath the surface, discontent was brewing. The native Algerians were treated as second-class citizens, while French settlers, known as Pieds Noirs, lived privileged lives. Resentment turned into resistance, and on November 1, 1954, the National Liberation Front, or FLN, launched coordinated attacks across the country. That date marked the start of one of the bloodiest wars for independence in the 20th century. The French government wasn't about to let go easily. They sent in hundreds of thousands of troops. What followed was a brutal conflict. Guerrilla warfare, bombings, torture, and reprisals on both sides. The war didn't just rage in the mountains or the streets of Algiers, it divided families, communities, and even French society itself. By the late 1950s, the violence had spilled over into France. There were bombings in Paris, protests, and even military uprisings. French politicians couldn't agree on a solution, and the country teetered on the edge of civil war. In 1958, Charles de Gaulle returned to power, promising change. But the fighting raged on, and the world was watching. The turning point came in 1961. After years of bloodshed and mounting international pressure, the French public grew weary. In March 1962, the Evian Accords were signed, declaring a ceasefire and paving the way for Algerian independence. It was official. After 132 years, French rule in Algeria was over. But the cost was staggering. Up to 1 million Algerians died, and hundreds of thousands of Europeans fled the country almost overnight. The scars of the war lingered, on both sides of the Mediterranean. Why does this matter? The Algerian War rewrote the rules of colonialism and independence. It inspired other anti-colonial movements worldwide, and forced a reckoning in France about its own history. Even today, the legacy of the war shapes the relationship between France and Algeria. So next time you think of iconic struggles for freedom, remember Algeria. Its fight for independence was fierce, costly, and world-changing. A story of resilience against overwhelming odds. Thanks for watching, and if you want more untold stories from history, don't forget to subscribe.